Sanbanani, Absheni, and welcome to my YouTube channel, which is called Saseka Soccer News. Ikamalami Umpumelelo Nkuna. Now let me tell you something. If you know me, you know that I'm an avid soccer lover. I love a good game, I love good commentary, I love pre and post match interviews, and also just to look at the spectacular expedition of football. So I thought to myself, why not create a platform where you can allow the viewer to have an extended platform to engage with you and also highlight moments that stood out for them that showed us what good football is all about. The name Saseka in Tsonga means good, and that's what we want to talk about here. Let's bring about good conversation, good feedback, good football, and also highlight things that we think we should be seeing more of on our football pitch. So on that note, I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our page, comment, and give us feedback as we interact together. Less than a month ago, Mamelodi Sundowns were crowned the Absa Premiership 2019-2020 soccer champions. And if we have to give credit where credit is due, Sundowns have had an amazing season. So we're not going to talk about Sundowns today, but we want to talk about a team that really has stood out, has done well, and at some point we thought they could be taking the soccer league. I am, of course, talking about Kaizer Chiefs, the boys from Naturina. So today I'm going to interview two of their fans and hear from them what they thought about their season and where they can improve. For now, let's talk to Hunter J. Mokoena. He has been supporting Kaizer Chiefs since the year 1995. I tell you what, if you don't think that that is faithfulness, then I don't know what is. Hunter, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake Mokoena, known by everyone as Hunter, and I'll be answering your questions for today. I've been supporting Kaizer Chiefs for the past 23 years. I remember it like the back of my hand. It was back in 1997. I was in grade 1 and I was living in Kokstad with my parents. And at first I really wasn't fascinated by the name Kaizer Chiefs, neither was I fascinated by the colors. In a weird way, I was actually fascinated by Orlando Pirates' name as well as its colors as well. But when I really started showing interest in the game of football, it was when Kaizer Chiefs were playing. I remember it was the 1997 Rothmans Cup semi-final. It was against Manning Rangers at Chatsworth Stadium. And I tell you, it was such an exciting game. It was an avalanche of goals. And that goal by Musi Ajao from long range is the one that really confirmed my love and support for Kaizer Chiefs up until today. What I loved about Kaizer Chiefs during this 2019-2020 Absa Premiership season was the fact that they really changed their mindsets. They went from being sluggish to being resilient to being fearless, and the first half of the season really helped them a great deal, considering the fact that they were able to reach 40 points in January. No other team was able to do that in January besides Kaizer Chiefs. And of course, then lockdown happened, and post-lockdown, when it came to the bio bubble, things was just beginning to go south. And we just started dropping points like you cannot believe, only managing to win 2 games. And, you know, to be honest, I'm just gonna say that we are fortunate to be in the current position that we're in, thanks to the first half of the season. Otherwise, this league would have been wrapped up a long time ago. Oh, my favorite goal has to be Lebohang Manyama's goal against Orlando Pirates on February the 29th. The reason why I chose that goal, and it's simply because Chiefs were going into the Soweto derby as the underdogs, despite the fact that they were residing on the top of the log. But in the build-up to that game, Chiefs were just dropping points unnecessarily, and Pirates have actually won 6 games in a row since their new coach Joseph Zimbabwe actually took over the club in December.
Thank you so much, Hunter J. Mokoena, for that beautiful analysis and just your story of how you stuck with your team in good and in bad times. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to interview our very next interviewee today. He is also a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, and he's going to tell us what he thinks his team needs to work on in the seasons to come. Trevor Kamoto, welcome to our channel, and over to you, sir.
Hello there, Trevor Kamoto here, #1 Kosi fan. Thank you very much for having me. The reason why I believe Kaizer Chiefs did well this season is because they were playing a very peculiar style of football. They were playing a very European style of football that is not very common in Africa. So many people have accused it and called it helicopter football, but it was mainly aerial balls that made use of our tall players, being the likes of Castro, Nurkovic and so forth. And that's what worked for us the most, is because this style of football is mostly common in Europe and other leagues across the world, but it's not very common in Africa. So that's what really worked for us this season.
Well, thank you for that. And do you think Chiefs played enough offensive football in this season?
To be quite honest, I think the league campaign of Kaizer Chiefs can be split into two halves, wherein we played enough offensive football in the first half of the league, and then surprisingly in the second half of the league race we actually played very little offensive football, and we found ourselves in situations where we were defending 1-goal leads and so forth, and sometimes even conceding late equalizers, and that somehow caused a little scare in our league campaign. So we could have played more offensive football as we did in the first half of the league.
Trevor, your predictions. Do you think Kaizer Chiefs needs a new coach?
I certainly think that Kaizer Chiefs needs a new coach, because what we saw, particularly during the last games of the season, was a coach who was actually out of ideas. Because even when you look at the starting 11s that he would normally put in, or you look at the substitutions he would make, you would actually realize that this is a man who is not really sure of what he's doing, or this is a man who doesn't really have a plan. So we definitely need a new coach who will understand his squad better, who will understand why he makes certain substitutions and what he wants to gain from those substitutions. So yes, I feel most definitely that Kaizer Chiefs really do need a new coach.
Well, as he's predicted, Ernest Middendorf has been released of his duties as head coach of Kaizer Chiefs. For now, we're going to leave it there and just give you a brief highlight of what we're going to be doing this season as we talk on our YouTube channel. For now, I'm saying to you, please subscribe, give us your comments and your feedback, and remember, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Siyobonana futhi ngelinye ilanga, nihambe kahle, uNkulunkulu abe nani. Siyanthanda.